Terrarian in the Dungeon, Chapter 47 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of his stories. I kinda pushed Heath away after I got my feet back under me as I teleported back home and began stumbling towards the voices of Belle and the others in the shop. I need an antidote, I got poisoned. I coughed, hacking up some phlegm as my lungs tried to isolate the toxic crap to no avail, and hearing my demand, Belle froze for a split second before sprinting off to her adventurer bag as I cursed myself for not making a Bezoar, so I didn't ever have to worry about poison. But with my meteor armor, I never had to worry about the dungeon-based poisons as the armor would burn away any harmful chemicals, but my platinum armor set, although more defensive, didn't protect me in that way. Here, Jake. Belle yelled, about to push the antidote into my hands as she rushed back over to me, but Heath Velvet, who herself managed to make her way through the house, stopped Belle from giving me the antidote. Wait, he needs both a different dosage and a stronger antidote to begin with, due to the purple moth's toxic dust being concentrated, Heath said, pushing Belle to the side as I grimaced at the feeling of my lungs screaming in agony. Heath then reached behind her back and pulled a bag/box that was embossed with a cross across its front, and a number of vials poked out from the sides of the container that were marked with several little notes. Here, Heath said, pushing a vial with darker purple fluid within it than the one Belle tried to give me, so I wordlessly just chugged down the contents despite how revolting it tasted, as I knew that I didn't have the time to make my own Bezoar, as the stone needed to soak in an antidote for 3 hours before it would properly become a Terrarian Bezoar that would nullify almost all poisons and toxins that touched me. Relax, Jake, purple moth dust is easily cured despite it wreaking havoc on people's lungs. That arrow must have been the next step in trying to capture you, but with Ace Wallenstein there they didn't dare use it at the start because of how she was too close to you. As she would just use her wind magic to throw it back at the Evelus members. Heath said wryly as I felt the antidote get to work clearing out my lungs of the purple moth crap. Now, as for why I trusted Heath Velvet with her antidote. Well, for one, I knew her appearance from the posters, and frankly, everyone knew the crimson-haired witch of Freya. She was literally capable of healing people who just got decapitated or had their hearts eviscerated in battle if she was on the site and instantly began chanting at the wounded person. She was considered the second-best mortal healer in Rio despite being capable of tearing people away from the clutches of death with her powerful magic. So, I knew for a fact with how Freya was likely interested in me and Belle that she wouldn't have Heath try to poison or kill me. Take a deep breath for me, Jake, Heath asked me, and I felt her give me a hug as she pushed the side of her head into my back after I made my chest plate disappear. Alright, good. The purple moth concentration wasn't high enough to melt your lungs. That means they either went light on the concentration or Evelus has a masterful potion maker. Heath seemed to speak to herself as she moved away from me. Thanks for the antidote. How much do I owe you? I said, wanting to pay her back for the obviously expensive antidote that worked so well on me. Oh, don't worry, I am a medical professional. I cannot charge you for stuff used outside the dungeon in an emergency. Heath said, waving off my question as a flash of fear flew through her eyes, and I imagined how Freya would react to her charging me through the nose for the stupidly expensive antidotes and potions that were so prevalent here in Rio. I nodded before I sat down on the shop's couch and just tried to catch my breath, relaxing as my goddess finally walked over to me and gently lifted my head to look into my eyes. Seshet's golden slit eyes looked into my blue ones before she hummed and looked away from me to Heath. You, healer girl bearing the brand of Freya, did Jake bring glory to himself dealing with the filth that attacked him? She asked calmly. Yes, Lady Seshet, he fought well, Heath responded, refusing to meet my goddess's eyes, and her figure even further sank in of itself as Seshet followed up. I can see the karma of the souls he sent up to Tenkai. Why do you have none at all? Did you and Freya's men just sit back and watch Jake fight? She asked with no emotion in her tone, simply speaking flatly. Yes, Lady Freya ordered me and Otter not to intercede until Jake had thoroughly blooded himself on the Evelus members. She said, looking to the ground as Seshet hummed in thought. Finally, Seshet grinned, and her soft mocha-colored finger tilted up the chin of the red-haired beauty. And I thank you for that, little girl. Your little game has pushed my Jake. Yes, you broken little girl, I can see your mangled soul. Jake is mine and not going to be Freya's newest little baked addict to her charm. Seshet shook her head of any irritation as Heath's eyes flashed with the typically maniacal fanaticism for Freya that disgusted her. Anyway, thanks for helping push my Jake to his level up that I shall grace him with. Hell with that poison dose he got, he probably will get a powerful antitoxin skill. So, you just sit down next to Hestia while I take Jake to level up. Seshet said, pushing Heath down onto the couch beside me as she gave me a wink as I stood up beside. When we went into the next room before I could even scold her for being a bitch or something, she coughed to cut me off. Jake, when I called her soul mangled, I wasn't lying. Her soul, once a swirling red with slightly holy white light coming through her cloud-shaped soul, has become a twisted rope of the same colors yet also tainted and self-perpetuating with Freya's charm. Literally, she is so weak-willed to Freya's charm that her soul is literally recreating the same sensation of being under her gaze so she can always feel her. Thus, such a girl needs to be kept on a tight leash. It's no secret or coincidence they helped you with whatever happened out there right at the end. Anyway, she needs to be kept at arm's reach unless you plan to replace her fanaticism towards Freya with yourself, as every thought in that empty girl's head is going to be, what would Freya want me to do now? Literally every thought, Jake. Seshet put emphasis on the words, and I just exhaled, just feeling done with today. Alright, Seshet, I will take your lead on this. I am a guy, and dealing with a normal girl is enough. Dealing with a girl with her head being magically twisted around is too much. I said tiredly as I sat down on the love seat in the sitting room Seshet pulled me into. Heh, it's not all bad, Jake. You still got me, and I guess Beatrice, though you need to spend more time with her. She is going to think you only hired her on because we wanted a maid and not the breeding cow she wants to be. Seshet joked, poking me in the sides, making me jolt and reflexively smile at the ticklish feeling. Now take off your shirt so you can break that sword princess's level-up record over your knee. Seshet said with true excitement in her voice, and I couldn't help but match her grin as I wondered if I should get Fargo's or something else as my new level mod.